my thought would be that it's really important that companies who previously have not had like home workability should probably think about like what they can do to create that. Mm-hmm. And if it's not possible, like, okay, you can't work at home from McDonald's. All right.
Right. Does this change any of your plans for the future? This pandemic?
In regards to like what?
So like I know there's a lot of teachers right now that are really like there's some that are doing really well teaching from home, and there's some that aren't doing well teaching from home. There's a lot of like there's a lot of articles I've read saying that there's like people that were like going into school for teaching that completely like stopped because they're seeing what's happening now. I mean, as someone who was going to be an educator myself, like this is more of a reason why like I wouldn't want to go into education, just because like there's so many complications, and like it gets really hard, and while people are thankful now, they weren't thankful before, you know.
I am. So you guys might not know this like on the internet, but Michaela does. I am somebody who will do literally whatever I can to help somebody. And thinking about that now, I feel like it doesn't necessarily change my plans for the future, other than me thinking that I will be better fit to be a teacher in this future than I would have been in the previous future. Because I am okay with technology. I'm relatively good with technology. I am good at designing lesson plans online. I'm relatively confident in front of a classroom. I am more confident in front of a camera. I feel like if an online thing, if this were to happen again in the future where I'm a teacher, I feel like I would be better suited for this. So I don't think it changes my plans necessarily, other than making me more confident in that this is what I want to do. Because for students like me, let's say this does happen again, I would be ecstatic to have myself as a teacher, because I think that I would have all the resources available. I would know how to provide the better accommodations even during this time for students who need them. I would be able to be more available. Like, I just feel like I would be better suited for that. So the only plan that it does sort of change for me, I guess, is I originally thought that that if my school didn't require it, I wouldn't have like a Google Classroom, like that sort of stuff, like the online resources. Now I'm thinking it's even more important to have that sort of stuff like readily available, to just flip the switch and turn it on, even if my school like doesn't require it, because it's important just to have those resources available, planning for the worst case scenario. And I think that changed my mind on that sort of stuff. Like, obviously I planned to have like everything available online for my students, but maybe recording lectures is something that I might do in advance, even if this is not something that does happen again.
Right. I think for me, like from going from education to healthcare, like yeah, like I see it as education getting a lot harder. Like it would scare me if this were to happen again, but at the same time, I do have that kind of I have more motivation to be like, okay, I have resources that other people don't, and I want to be able to help people as much as possible because that's what I'm here for. I've gone through these experiences, and I want people to feel more comfortable with their situation. And while my major might allow me to work from home more often, doesn't always mean that. So it would very well question, like, okay, am I going to be in a hospital during one of these situations again? And that's something I've kind of been freaking out about lately, but I don't know. Nervous head scratch.
I guess the only other thing that it did sort of change for me was I came to the realization over time, like not necessarily related to the pandemic, I guess, but I thought like after looking into it more, because other than like being in classes, I was forced to do the things that were in classes. Now I'm doing the things in classes, but I'm also like researching other things if I'm curious about it. I have more time to do those things. Right. And my current plan is to possibly minor in some form of like social work, to do like being a school social worker or a case manager for students with disabilities, like for IEPs and 504s, which I already do have like experience with because I worked in a special ed classroom with a case manager, but I feel like now that that's something I want to do even more, because I do want to, like, again, like similar to what you said, like seeking out resources for students who need them in times of need. I don't know.
Something you guys might also not know is that I'm a grade above her, which means I have more credits. So while I've also been thinking about adding a social work minor, I don't think I can, you know? Like, I will be adding more school if I did something like that, but it's also something I'm really interested in. So during this pandemic, it's been really hard to be like, okay, can I actually do this, or is it going to be too much? I mean, I'm almost done with my minor, and that was just from having interests in disability advocacy and disability in society, you know, those kind of things. But there's like a question of like, I don't know how many credits I can actually take.
Right.
And like, if you guys also don't know, we're like a month apart. So so a lot of our interests are the same, which is why I'm like minoring in social work might be really cool, because maybe we'll take some classes together. Maybe.
Yeah, that would be fun.
That would be fun. The two service dogs just staring at each other, wanting to play the whole time. Great. It's just weird to be a grade above you. Like, there's not much change, but it is kind of weird because, like, I do have to start worrying about, like, I am not graduating on time at all.
Well, the thing is I originally thought I would graduate on time. Everything was going good my first semester of freshman year, and then
I have a bad itch. Leave me alone.
Bad things happened, and now I'm like behind. So it's, you know, things happen.
Right, and it's like, how much debt can we accumulate? Let's not find out. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, tangent. 2 more questions. How has this changed your relationship with your service dog?
So, there was a while there where so Arlo is not yet 2. He does a lot of mobility work for me, though. He did get his pre-OFAs and his OFAs done, so I'm not, like, concerned about that.
No one come after her because people are mean.
So, he's, like, good for mobility and whatever, but I think the thing that it changed the most for us is there was a string there where I did not leave my dorm without my dog. I did not go outside to get something from my car 10 feet away without my service dog, because there was the chance, like, my health kept declining. It's still declining with mobility and my problems with, like, fainting episodes, stuff like that. And if he's not with me, bad things can happen. So now that I'm in quarantine and we're not really working him, because I don't want him to go out in public and possibly, like, pick something up on his fur that I can't just immediately wash off, I am generally concerned about his training. We've been doing as much at-home work as, like, I can emotionally manage, but I feel like him going to classes with me was enough to, like, keep up his training when we were in college. And now that we don't have that, but I'm still expected to do all my classwork. It's like I don't necessarily have that like extra piece of time that I need to work with him and keep him up on his stuff. And I feel like now that like finals are almost done, I'm feeling more like I have that ability back to like, you know, not just work with him like necessarily in public, but at home. I think that it'll get better, but he did like forget some major things. Like he does a syncope response. So if I pass out, his syncope response, when I pass out, he's supposed to break from place if he's in place and run towards me and go under my knees and lift my knees up. He has totally lost that, which is really bad. It's not been too bad because right now, the times that I've passed out, my boyfriend is there with me because he doesn't have a job to go to or school to go to either. But it's not going to be great when we go back and I have to work right away without him getting like that extra stint of training. So now that my boyfriend is done with his finals, he's working with him and I'm starting to work with him again, really heavily. And I'm hoping that like we can get him at least back to where he was before I have to go back to work, if that makes sense.
Right. I think a lot of
What about you?
Well, for me, we were already having a hard enough time. If you guys don't know, if you guys don't follow us on Instagram, I don't really talk about it a lot on YouTube. I at least haven't yet. Toby went through heartworm treatment from July to October of last year. And since then, we were struggling a lot just with the fact that, like, he lost a lot. Now, we were trying to get back to a certain point where it would kind of be like it would match where he was before heartworm, but then this happened and he's just gone back down again. So I don't know. I'm just waiting for you to get home. But I think a lot of other handlers are feeling that this way in this situation, that they're not getting their dogs out, and while they can train at home, you can only do so much. A lot of it is correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of it is environmental. So it's like being out at Walmart or out at a park, you know, like getting the training in the places where it's going to apply.
So environmentals for our dogs is really difficult right now. Professionally, a lot of my clients are like, what do I do right now? We were literally working on our 3-week environmental program. Like literally, we have a program at our work where you spend 3 weeks. Once you have your training cards, you spend 3 weeks going to all these environmental places. We have like 50 places listed. You go to all of them and you do your training cards.
No refunds?
Like all times. And it's like, okay, how are we supposed to do that? So that's been really difficult, I guess, like professional training wise. It's struggling that way for people who have dogs that are in training, because it's like you wonder what all are they gonna lose. It's like a few months
start again from scratch.
They're not working.
Happy editing to me. High five. Thanks guys for watching. If you're not already subscribed to the Service Star Cloud, do it, because if not, I'm gonna be really upset. I don't have an ultimatum.
We're gonna have a video coming out about Yup and our experience with their harnesses lately.
Made us wanna cry. It's fine.
Yeah, wanna cry, go ahead. And Michaela had some fun editing part of that as well, so I'm sure that she would love to advertise that herself. Yeah, now we have to work on it.
All right. You promise. Okay, guys. Thanks for watching this video. If you're not already subscribed to her, go do it. There is no excuses.
I know you've seen 3 or 4 videos from my channel. Why haven't you subscribed yet? I don't understand. What? Be my friend. Come on.
And if you want to be my friend, then you can subscribe to my channel. I don't know what the handle is anymore. It's supposed to be Toby the Service Dog. Who knows? Come check us out at Toby the Service Dog, and we'll see you guys later. Thanks. Bye.